He's facing a murder charge and breaking out of the Bexar County Jail. But this morning, Luis Arroyo was in court denying he did it. Eyewitness News reporter Addie Guajardo joins us now with the story. Addie?
Well, today, Luis Arroyo pleaded not guilty to the escape charge, a third-degree felony. He's one of 3 people facing homicide charges arrested last March by SAPD after authorities say they broke out of jail. Now, Arroyo's attorney tells me prosecutors presented a video in court today that showed 3 inmates using bed sheets to climb over a jail wall and then shows them jumping into a woman's car. Prosecutors presented more than 5 witnesses for their case. At the time of the alleged escape, Arroyo was accused of killing 2 people and stabbing a third in 2016. The case was ruled a mistrial just months after the alleged escape. Arroyo's attorney expects the trial to be over by the end of the week, but Arroyo's capital murder case is pending. Arroyo is the first of 3 charged with escaping the Bexar County Jail. Now, Arroyo has also filed a lawsuit against the Bexar County Jail. He claims several deputies beat him up while he was in custody. Barry, back to you.